Imagine a quiet Mexican town suddenly jolted awake. Explosions light up the night, painting the dark sky with an eerie, fiery glow. Hidden pipeline taps, clandestine and dangerous, erupt without warning, consuming everything in their path with relentless flames. Emergency workers race against time, silhouetted against the inferno. This is Huachicole, a word whispered in hushed tones, a term that encapsulates a complex web of crime and desperation. It's a shadowy world where Mexico's fuel, a precious resource, is siphoned under the cover of darkness by powerful criminal networks, their operations shrouded in secrecy. The pervasive smell of gasoline lingers in communities, a constant reminder of the illicit activities taking place, a scent that permeates daily life. It's a constant reminder of danger, the ever-present threat of explosions and spills, and the insidious corruption that fuels this illegal trade. Huachicole isn't just theft, it's a sophisticated operation that reaches into the very heart of Mexican society. It's a parallel economy, a thriving black market where stolen fuel is bought and sold, enriching criminals and undermining legitimate businesses. It's a system that pits neighbor against neighbor, turning communities into battlegrounds, and transforming officials into accomplices, complicit in the crime. Illegal fuel runs through midnight roads, transported in tanker trucks under the cloak of darkness, a clandestine network stretching across the country. It's a direct challenge to the authority of the state, a bold defiance of law and order that threatens the stability of the nation. Each tap is a potential bomb, a ticking time bomb that could detonate at any moment, causing untold devastation. It's a threat looming over entire communities, casting a shadow of fear and uncertainty over the lives of ordinary citizens. For many, caught in the cycle of poverty, it's a lifeline, a desperate means of survival in a land of limited opportunities. But for all, regardless of their involvement, it's a national crisis, a complex problem that demands urgent attention and a comprehensive solution. To understand Huachicole, to truly grasp its impact, requires delving into the intricate details of this illicit trade. To understand Huachicole is to confront Mexico's ongoing struggle to control its valuable resources, combat corruption, and ultimately, protect the safety and well-being of its people. Huachicole means the organized theft and sale of fuel from PEMEX pipelines. This is industrial-scale crime, hundreds of tanker trucks worth stolen daily, costing Mexico billions. The black market thrives, with stolen fuel sold openly at deep discounts. Cheap gasoline tempts a struggling public, fueling the criminal network. Illegal taps have been found in over 25 states, making this a national epidemic. PEMEX's vast pipeline network has become a liability, exploited by cartels. The scale and reach of Huachicole show the audacity and power of organized crime. It's a hemorrhage that threatens Mexico's economy and security. Huachicole, the illegal fuel trade, isn't just a series of isolated incidents. It's a highly organized criminal enterprise, deeply entrenched and run by major cartels, most notably CJNG, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, and remnants of the once dominant Los Zetas, cartel groups that have evolved and adapted over time. These organizations brought unprecedented levels of violence and a chilling level of criminal expertise to the Huachicole landscape. They exert control over the entire chain of operations, from the initial tapping of pipelines, to the transport of stolen fuel in convoys of trucks, and finally, the sale of the illicit product on the black market. Corruption is absolutely key to their success, with PEMEX insiders leaking crucial information like pipeline maps and maintenance schedules, while local police and government officials are often bribed to simply look the other way, allowing the illegal activity to flourish unchecked. The network itself is rigidly hierarchical, ranging from powerful cartel bosses at the top to specialized engineers who know how to tap the pipeline safely, to the truck drivers who transport the stolen fuel, and the often coerced locals who are forced to participate. In many poor regions of Mexico, Huachicoleros are often seen not as criminals, but as providers and benefactors, offering much-needed jobs and even sponsoring local festivals and celebrations. This pervasive social acceptance effectively shields them from law enforcement, making it incredibly difficult to crack down on the illegal activity. The presence of the state is often conspicuously absent in these areas, creating a void that criminals are all too willing to fill, providing services and exerting control. Ultimately, fear of reprisal and the economic necessity driven by poverty are what keep this complex and dangerous system running. Therefore, breaking this cycle of Huachicole ultimately means confronting both the organized crime element and the underlying poverty that fuels it. The cost of Huachicole is measured in lives, like the Tlahuelilpan tragedy, where a pipeline explosion killed over 130 people. Illegal taps are deadly, causing frequent explosions and fires. Stolen fuel is often contaminated, damaging engines and endangering lives. The black market undercuts honest businesses, rewarding illegality. Billions lost to fuel theft mean less for hospitals, schools, and roads. Environmental damage is severe, spills poison land and water. Cleanup costs are enormous. The true price is paid by communities, the economy, and future generations. Huachicole leaves scars, visible and invisible, across Mexico. In 2018, Mexico declared war on Huachicole, deploying the military and shutting pipelines. Fuel shortages followed, but theft numbers dropped dramatically. At first, criminals adapted, shifting to smaller taps and new targets. Critics say the military approach ignores root causes: corruption and poverty. Recent data shows fuel theft is rising again. The networks are resilient, deeply embedded, and quick to evolve. The government's campaign disrupted but didn't destroy the illicit market. The battle continues, a test of Mexico's resolve and strategy. Huachicole, once narrowly defined, now means more than just fuel theft. It has evolved, morphing into something far more insidious and widespread. It's a metaphor, a stark symbol for the systematic plunder of public resources, a drain on the nation's wealth and potential. This isn't just about stolen gasoline, it's about a deeper rot. Criminals siphon water, diverting this essential resource for their own illicit gain, leaving communities parched and vulnerable. They steal electricity, tapping into the grid with reckless abandon, creating dangerous conditions and undermining the power supply for everyone. They even steal medicines, diverting vital supplies from hospitals and pharmacies, putting lives at risk for the sake of profit. And they are using the same corrupt playbook, the same network of influence and intimidation, to facilitate these diverse crimes. Water theft leaves neighborhoods dry, forcing families to struggle for a basic necessity, creating resentment and instability. Stolen electricity powers illegal operations, fueling criminal enterprises and creating a shadow economy that thrives on exploitation. Stolen medicines endanger the sick, depriving vulnerable patients of the treatments they desperately need, a callous disregard for human life. The pattern is always the same, a consistent cycle of exploitation and corruption that undermines the very fabric of society. Valuable resource, insider help, black market demand, these are the key ingredients in this recipe for disaster, a toxic mix that breeds impunity. The state's weakness and corruption create a fertile ground for these criminal activities to flourish, allowing them to operate with relative ease. This allows Huachicole to thrive in many forms, adapting and evolving to exploit new vulnerabilities and opportunities. Real change requires more than soldiers patrolling the streets and guarding pipelines. It demands institutional reform, a fundamental overhaul of the systems that enable corruption and impunity. And it requires economic opportunity, creating jobs and pathways to prosperity that offer alternatives to a life of crime. Only a society-wide commitment to the rule of law, where justice is blind and accountability is paramount, can end this cycle of theft and corruption, breaking the chains that bind Mexico to this destructive pattern. Until then, Huachicole, by any name, in any form, remains a burning threat beneath Mexico's feet, a constant reminder of the challenges that lie ahead.